Hi, my name is Thomas Tallhelm, and I'm here today to talk about smart air. Now, you're probably hearing in what I'm saying here what I would call the spirit of social enterprise. So I want to talk a little bit about what makes smart air a social enterprise and why I decided to make smart air a social enterprise rather than just a regular company. Now, what's a social enterprise? Well, in the last few years, there are actually certifications that you can get to be a social enterprise. So Smart Air is a certified B Corp. That's a benefit corporation. What that means is that Smart Air has goals other than making profit. And in China, there is actually formal certification for social enterprise, which we have been awarded at Smart Air. So, okay, why should we be a social enterprise, or what is a social enterprise about? I'll talk about a few things that I think are important to me about being a social enterprise. One is our method of selling. Right? Now, let me compare smart air to what the industry standard is. So if you look at the industry standards, how do air purifier companies market themselves or market clean air? One of the things that they really do, many of them do, is they'll really put a lot of emphasis on how this is imported technology, this fancy European technology. You see these Swiss flags here, Swedish flags here. We see this purifier claiming that it's designed for China but made in Switzerland, right? You can see the Swiss flag here and beautiful Swiss mountains, right? Or we see beautiful European people living in white rooms with white purifiers and beautiful blonde hair and clean homes. So that's how we know that this purifier is effective, right? Wearing all white clothes with children wearing beautiful white clothes on white couches, right, in this advertisement. Another thing that we see are purifier companies making purely unscientific claims. I mean, wrong, incorrect data saying that their purifier captures particles that are smaller than other purifier companies what they can capture, and these are just wrong. They just don't fit with the science, right? We see other companies putting in extra filters into their purifiers with, ionizers or plasma arrays, whatever that is. Just all to try to make it seem like their air purifier is more effective or more sophisticated. And by the way, it's more expensive because of those extra steps, right? Now that's what smart air is not about. What smart air is about is values that are outside of simple profit, right? So if you look at, for example, our packaging. Right? So when we first designed our most recent purifier, this is the packaging that the factory gave us. Right? You can see it's got a plastic bag, styrofoam, bubble wrap, lots of plastic, lots of waste that's going into this. So we worked with our manufacturer for months, I mean literally months, trying to get rid of this non-sustainable packaging. And here's what we came up with afterwards. Now we got rid of the styrofoam, we changed plastic into the paper cover, and we changed all that plastic on the inside to a recyclable paperboard insert. Right? Now, a normal company really doesn't have much of an incentive to do something like this, right? But with a social enterprise, we are allowed to have values in our company that are not the values of a regular company, like protecting the environment, right? So here, for example, is the amount of plastic that is in the final packaging for our newest air purifier. So you can see paper makes up the vast majority of it. Only less than 1% of plastic is left in our packaging. And we're still trying to get rid of that last 1% of unsustainable plastic. Third, we put helping other people above making profits. Now, my favorite example of this is this part on our website. We have in the frequently asked questions, there's a part that says, why can't I just order the filter and fan myself and just make it myself? And our response is, well, you can, right? Now, I think a normal company would not want you to do this, right? A normal company wants you to buy from them and not make it yourself. But our goal at Smart Air is to have people breathe clean air. Now, if they do that by buying a purifier through Smart Air, then that's great. But if they do that through making their own air purifier and protecting themselves, that's also great. And so we put those resources right on our website for everybody to see. They can do it themselves, right? I don't think a normal company would do that. Only a company that cares about people's well-being above their own profits would do something like this, right? Now, what do we do with those profits when we sell air purifiers? Well, 20% of them go into our open data and tests, which we publish online for all to see. 20% goes to expanding into other countries where people have air pollution problems but are not being met with low-cost air purifiers. And then 60% go into our educational workshops, which we hold for free at schools and hospitals, orphanages, and really anywhere else where people breathe clean air or want to breathe clean air. Now, those open data and transparency, those are also things that are incredibly important to Smart Air that make us different from a regular company, right? So if you go to our website, you can see tons and tons of tests on air pollution, answering basic questions about effectiveness or how to use your purifier or who needs purifiers, right? Another great example of this is how long our filters last. Now, lots of companies will just, if you go to their website, they'll say, oh, it lasts 6 months, but we have no idea how they know whether that lasts 6 months or 4 months or 12 months, right? Now, at Smart Air, what I wanted to do with this is to say, well, let's just test it under real-world conditions. That way we know whether this lasts 6 months in Beijing or in Delhi or in London or Switzerland, right? And so what we did is we tested it under real-world conditions for over 1,000 hours, up to 200 days. And we just published the data online for everybody to see so that they can see exactly how we're reaching the conclusions that we are. So rather than saying, just trust us, we're saying, hey, here's the data, and you can see for yourself. That's another value of Smart Air, right? Number 5 is education. So we put a lot of time and energy into doing educational workshops where people either build air purifiers or where we explain the science behind air purifiers and air pollution. So here's one we did at the U.S. Embassy. Here's one that we did in Shanghai where we're building air purifiers. Here's one reaching out to elderly residents in China. Here is one that we've done with kids in Rajasthan, in India. And here is one with blue-collar workers in Sichuan, in China. All right, you might be asking yourself, okay, what kind of influence can a social enterprise really have? Now, our social enterprise is limited because they're not primarily profit motivated. Well, I can talk a little bit about the influence that Smart Air has had. So for in-person workshops that we've held over 500 workshops in person with people directly. If you count online workshops, we've helped over 13,000 people understand more about air pollution and how to protect themselves. Online, we've published over 300 articles on air pollution, knowledge and tests and data. We have one of the leading Quora websites about air pollution. Also, we're active on Zhihu and Facebook and Twitter. If you look at just the air purifiers themselves, directly getting people to breathe clean air, we've shipped over 50,000 air purifiers in over 30 countries. Our largest countries are China, India, Mongolia, and the Philippines so far, but we've recently expanded to other places like Bangladesh and Pakistan. We've even helped organizations, so organizations like the BBC, Ford, the University of Chicago, where I work, the Harvard Kennedy School. We've installed these large-scale blast purifiers in their offices so that we can get clean air to even more people, because clean air is not just important at home, it's also important where we work. So I hope I've convinced you at least a little bit that there is a third model out there, other than just NGOs and other than straight profit-motivated company, that we can combine what we traditionally think of as a company, a for-profit company, with doing good. So I hope I've convinced you that, and perhaps inspired you, that companies can do things other than just being about making profit. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you can breathe safe air wherever you are. You can scan these QR codes. Here you can follow us on WeChat. You can see in the middle here articles that I've written on Zhihu, and over here you can check out our Taobao store. So, all right, well, thank you for listening, and breathe safe. Bye now.